Welcome to another Open Great League video. I got some battles from my friend Scafo, and he's got a pretty interesting team to show. His team is Lantern, Mandibuzz, and Vullaby. Vullaby is actually a decent Pokemon, not as bulky as Mandibuzz, but has Brave Bird in his moveset, which Mandibuzz doesn't. But on the other hand, you don't have Snarl either as Vullaby. So kind of a bit of an offset. I think it's a pretty cool team. It's the most standard ABB that you can have, but it's also a pretty unpredictable ABB. Lantern covers Mandibuzz and Vullaby just really well. It just kind of depends on your fast move if you cover Galarian Stunfisk or Azumarill better. Let's take a look at these battles. The first match is against Boobly, and this is something that's not an easy lead. And safe switching into the Mandibuzz, then drawing out the Frostlass. This is in Italian, but I believe that's Dark Pulse on Scafo's side. If you have a really good Mandibuzz here, you win the ones, but I'm not sure. Let's take a look. First Dark Pulse coming through. It is no-shooted. I do think that you get Power Snow down before you can Snarl down, even though you're tankier, so see how he handles that. And I think if you've seen this team before, it's very popular. There's likely a Charizard in the back, and yeah, with a shield up, maybe Vullaby can make that work. Its moveset is kind of slow, but it does have some fast move pressure, especially on a fragile Pokemon such as Charizard. Let's take a look here. I'm guessing the Chestnut probably comes back in, and then Boobly will also make the switch here. Yep. There we go. A really quick swap into that Charizard, and as you can see, Vullaby runs the foul play on the right when you have the Brave Bird on the left. And I think at this point, you just want to shield everything. Actually, doesn't shield the Dranclaw, never mind. Kind of big play. I would have probably shielded, knowing that the Chestnut has to throw a whole superpower to take it out. And surprising no steer from Boobly, probably recognizing that this game is over. And yeah, Scafo making the screenshot there. Another person that I know, a good battler from Germany, Coordinator. And this is the worst lead that Scafo can face. Coordinator making a cheeky catch, but he caught a Dark Pulse. I'm guessing he would have preferred to catch an Aerial Ace here. And again, if you have a good Mandibuzz, Mandibuzz used to be one of the Pokemon I tried to get a really good one before the Noctowl buff. It can actually win. It actually does well against Stunfisk. This is kind of unfortunate timing for Scafo. I think he really was hoping to sneak, but now he's at 100 NG and he lets a free mud shot through himself. Yeah, as you can see, this next Dark Pulse will almost take out this Galarian Stunfisk, so you can just be really annoying with the Mandibuzz. If you have a really good Mandibuzz, I believe you can take 3 Rock Slides, which is pretty big. One of his best trades that just has a lot of bulk. Let's see if Scafo's going to flip it, and it does look like he's going to shield and just snarl this Galarian Stunfisk down. In the back is Nidoqueen, which is bad, which is terrible, to be honest. I didn't see game one of a Spark or Water Gun Lantern. I think at some point he had Water Gun and then switched back to Spark. Looks like this is Spark, and it's not that great against Nidoqueen. Obviously, Surf will take it out from here. At this point, not really sure what you want to do here. If you use your shields, that will also make your Vullaby fragile. The Venusaur swapped out with at least a Sludge Bomb, so that makes this a really tricky scenario. You can get both shields here, which Scafo does. Maybe you can get the farm down and then the Brave Bird or something on the Venusaur. But there's also a catch on both sides here. Let's take a look. Earth Power comes through, takes out this Nidoqueen, and now you can farm out with the Vullaby, I would reckon. You're not gonna get Stone Edge here because it likely has Poison Fang, right? Such the little chick can just take this Poison Fang. It's not as bulky as Mandy, but it can take it. That looks a little bit laggy, I don't know. And look, he's one off, so Scafo kind of knows he needs to catch a move from the Venusaur. Let's take a look what Coordinator is going to do here. And tries to catch, but unfortunately can't do so. And does get to, I think he predicted another catcher maybe. Area Ace wouldn't have done far from enough anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's just game over. Really well played by Coordinator. A lot of patience on his side to win this battle here. And also well played by Scafo, just trying to make it close against such a terrible lead. This, on the other hand, is exactly where you need this. It is Charm, Alolan Ninetales, and the problem here is Charm, Alolan Ninetales can win the 2 shields here, which is horrible for Scafo if it does, because it's also going to put a dent in your backline. Let's take a look here. First Surf comes through, is actually no shielded. A Thunderbolt would have put it deep into the red here. Next serve is shielded, and I think at this point, Scafo is going to get farmed down by this Charm Alolan So let's take a look. First, that's a Weather Ball, and then in comes a Swampert, Shadow Swampert. In Ultra League, this is very fine. In Great League, not so much, I think. I do think that since Manibuzz is a bit bulkier than Noctowl, you need 3 Hydras to take it out. Yeah, you do. But yeah, with the energy advantage this Swampert already has, this is gonna, like, this Swampert is going to outpace. Dark Pulse is going to put the Swampert to the red, I believe. I really like Dark Pulse on Manibuzz because it just puts a little bit of power into this Pokemon. Barely does put it into red, but the next Snarl does. And now the CMP, unfortunately, on that area ace. You can't even really shield this because you need that shield against the Alolan Ninetales that still has some energy. Going too far now with the Vullaby, I like this a lot. And the perfect farm down. It doesn't even get to Hydro. We just need a good matchup in the back, like a Trevenant maybe. It's a Medicham now. I don't know if this is a good matchup, to be honest. I'm not sure if you can shield this. The Alolan Knights has some energy. In comes that Ice Punch. Does quite some damage here, which is kind of tough. Actually going for the Brave Bird. Does this land? That'd be huge. I think if you land it, you win. It does go through? Clearing the debuff. Oh man, but the Alolan Knights are still kind of healthy. It's still into the yellow. Going for a charge move here. I'm not sure if that's going to help anything. You need to get to that foul play, but he's one short and barely gets charmed down. It had such little HP, it still had enough to take out Vullaby. Lantern into Galarian Stunfisk. If he had the water gun here, this would have been okay. This is kind of a core breaker now, but hopefully there's something like a Trevenant in the back. Yeah, sorry, I had to send the message. It tries to catch an Earthquake. I like that play. Let's take a look here. Galarian Stunfisk doesn't really need to bait generally against Lantern. Lantern can make it annoying against Galarian Stunfisk, especially if you have good IV Stunfisk, like high HP. You don't have to worry a lot about that matchup. Oh yeah, this Galarian Stunfisk is just going to stay in. And that... Oh, no shooting this. Does this take it out? Oh. Barely doesn't take out. And going for optimal timing once more. Probably going for 2 moves. Maybe the opponent does have a Trevenant this time. If they don't have a Mandibuzz answer, they likely don't have a Vullaby answer either, because they're the same typing. Lantern comes back in, makes sense because that's... Ooh, that's a Rock Slide, right? Yeah. Because the Vullaby doesn't have much fast pressure either, but at least the Rock Slides are not super effective here. Going to 100 energy. Now I'm really curious to what's in the back here. It is Trevenant, okay? And, ooh, an Altaria. That's not great. That really isn't great. Maybe if you've got Switch Advantage, that would have been helpful. Because I believe Vullaby has a really good matchup against Trevenant. Possibly just able to farm it down. But yeah, at this point, I think the Vullaby is a bit too fragile to get and too slow to get too many moves here. The opponent obviously shielding. Because if you no shield Brave Bird, it's over. But I also think even if Scafo is able to take this Altaria out, the problem is there's still that Trevenant that at this point can almost knock you out. Braybird actually going through it, doesn't even KO from that range. Yeah, as we see here, we get Shadow Claw down and Scafo knows what to do there. Very tough. They're a very tough lineup. Some very tough matches there. This is where he wants to see this as well, but with Spark, it's not even that great of a matchup. In comes Medicham and swaps in the Vullaby. If you swap in Snarl Mandibuzz here, you can lose this matchup. There's only Power Punch and not Ice Punch. But I believe Mandibuzz loses the 2 shields against Medicham, at least with Snarl. With Air Slash, it's okay. But yeah, since we know Scafo is running Snarl, that's not the case. And he probably likes this matchup more. It's a Psychic. Doesn't want to risk getting killed by an Ice Punch. So that makes sense. That shield that would not have KO'd, but I guess you don't want to lose Switch here, right? Bastiodon comes back in. I don't know what does more here: double resistant Brave Bird or the foul play. I would reckon the foul play does a little bit more. It only does so little though. Now, if this is what I think is in the back, Manibuzz is gonna have a pretty good time, right? This is always comes like Victory Bell. There it is. The really quick swap from Scafo, and this Victory Bell. Yeah, it's not great in this matchup. Let's take a look. First Air Ace coming in. This won't take it out, but look at how much those snarls are doing. No shields is move too. Wait, that's a sludge bomb. It's a sludge bomb. That only did so little though. I thought it would do more. Alright, next one is shielded. And look at this. Mandibuzz still getting to another area ace. Does this KO? That'd be disgusting. Just winning the 0-2. It does KO. Winning the 0-2 shields. Despite this victory ball having sludge bomb. Pretty big. Alright, Azumarill. Let's take a look. I feel like this was the water gun. Yeah, this is where you had water gun. And then Scafo switched to Spark afterwards. This is a pretty solid matchup for Mandibuzz. That's not really one you lose generally. With Dark Pulse, it's a little bit better than Umbreon usually does with Foul Play, because 2 Foul Plays from Umbreon don't take out 2 Dark Pulse with Snarls from Mandibuzz will. That make this matchup really favorable. But the downside is that the Azumarill is going to get so much farm now. Right? Because Mandibuzz does not threaten Azumarill at all. Look at that. Doesn't... Oh, it does get to another Foul Play. Barely at 1 HP. A really good Excel Sableye here. The Pika. Azumarill comes in. And that foul play actually may have been crucial to get that solid farm down here. Otherwise, you may have had to throw a move because it just takes too long. Aerosolto. Excelente. I try. My my Italian is probably not that great, but this matchup is great. Venusaur, look at another screenshot. Another screenshot every single time. Venusaur has a pretty bad matchup against this Volibee here, because Volibee is a flyer. It has Air Slash, dealing super effective damage over and over, and yeah, foul play goes through. I think the opponent recognizes this is likely over. Scafo just letting this go. I think, yeah, that's a frenzy. It barely doesn't KO. And that's game over. Finally, some good alignment for Scafo there. We have one more battle here. This is quite neutral, but you need to bait out the steal. So I reckon at some point we probably see Scafo swap out. Whoa! Is this a Psychic? That will do nothing. It is a Psychic. That's pretty big. But in the back as Alolan Sandslash. Now, this might sound crazy, but I don't think this matchup is that great for Alolan Sandslash, because Shadow Claws are resisted, and Shadow Form is pretty fragile. But I think 2 Ice Punches are going to KO her, because that Psychic Chip actually made that possible. Oh, look at how much this Dark Pulse does. It does a lot of damage. You have to throw basically immediately here as Sandslash, and it doesn't. So I guess you get a shield now? No, the opponent is letting it go. Interesting. Very, very confused now. Super effective area rates, some nice chip on that Medicham, does about 30% or so. And now you put it basically into... Oh, does it get to another... Oh, he better doesn't get there. Do you get that Thunderbolt? That Thunderbolt will KO here. Oh, but brings in the Volibee instead. Interesting. Another blind psychic, from the opponent, and the opponent's just sick of it. 2 psychics on dark types here from the opponent. So yeah, I think this was a pretty cool Volibee showcase. I think it's a pretty legit Pokemon. Usually more common in restricted formats. Maybe it has an Air Slash buff, it will one day be really legit. I don't know. Thank you, Scafo, for these battles. Hope you all like this video. Have a good one.